What's up, gaming heroes, and welcome back to another awesome World of Warcraft video. In today's video, we're going to be looking at World of Warcraft going onto console and what potential changes that Blizzard have made in preparation for this change. As always, thank you so much to my wonderful patrons who continue to support the channel and get access to my exclusive World of Warcraft guides, which are all orientated about gold making, mount farming, pet collecting, and a ton of other awesome shenanigans like that. If you were interested in that, then check out my website, erosiumtv.com, which is my professional guides website built for you guys in mind. Let's get into the video. With World of Warcraft Dragonflight flying into the scene with its fiery breath, so many changes have come to World of Warcraft, and a lot of these changes were Dragonflight changes, but really were actually changes that really took World of Warcraft a lot closer to being a console game as well as a PC game. This is really interesting and something that I think we need to be aware of as a World of Warcraft community. So what are these changes? Everyone in World of Warcraft has always been forced into tab targeting or click targeting. So click targeting being you get your mouse and you click on your target. Tab targeting being you press tab on your keyboard and it switches target to another close by target, and you just keep doing that until you get the target that you want. However, with these changes, there's been a new type of targeting added into the game, which we call soft targeting. This basically targets the character that you are looking at specifically. If you're looking at a close NPC or a close enemy, it will target that enemy. If you slightly turn and look at a different enemy close to you, it will target that enemy instead. And so that way you can constantly change which target you're looking at by literally looking at the target. This is huge change that would really help console players or anyone playing on controller to play World of Warcraft. Why would this help? Well, basically, in raids or PvP or dungeons or anything like that, you're running around using your keyboard, right? And you can press tab really easily because it's next to the W key. But when you're playing on a controller, you've not got many buttons. You've not got many buttons at all. You don't want to be wasting one on just having to press tab, right? And you want to be able to just join using your thumbstick, and you literally turn and look at the target you want to attack. This is going to make it so much easier for controller players to be able to interact or attack a new target, things like this. Generally, it's going to be a really good change for console. The interact keybind. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, there is now an interact keybind in the game. So when you get close enough to a target, you will quite literally be able to press a certain keybind and it will automatically interact with that target. This is an obvious change, in my opinion, for controllers, so that when controller players or console players move to a target, they can interact with it using their given keybind. There is also an interact and targeting sound effect, which actually lets the user know that they can interact with that chosen NPC or target that they have specifically looked at. Click to move. This is a very interesting one because this could be actually a PC orientated one where, you know, someone just wants to use one hand to play the game. They don't want to use two hands, so they can actually just click on the screen where they want to go and they will go to that point. Additionally, this is also good because some consoles, you might just want to press a button and actually run there rather than having to forcibly press the thumbstick in the direction you want to go, right? This is going to be a lot easier. So having a click to move system in there definitely helps World of Warcraft move closer towards a console orientated gaming space. Empowered spells. Now, empowered spells is a relatively new thing coming into Dragonflight. There's a new class, and they're going to have a lot of abilities that can be powered up into an almighty blast, and then you release and you smash the target into obliteration. Well, with this new change, there are now press and tap or hold and release options, which allow you basically to empower your spells in a different way. So you can literally press that button and hold it until it's ready and then release to use the spell, or you can press it down and then tap in order to release the ability. It's entirely up to you. It changes the whole vibe of how you use your abilities in World of Warcraft. Press and hold casting. Now, this is actually one that I'm personally going to use in World of Warcraft. Why am I going to use this? Well, because I do a lot of farming, and you can give yourself carpal tunnel by just pressing the buttons over and over. Forget that. Just press the button and hold it down. This is going to be so much easier for you to just genuinely play the game and enjoy the game the way that you want to. Press and hold casting is going to be a lot better for you overall. You literally will press an ability and it will just keep casting it over and over again on your target. Now, they've obviously added in enable action targeting, which is also soft targeting, and this will actually target specific mobs when you look at them. I've used this in Zereth Mortis a few times on my warrior, just because I often find myself wanting to switch to a new target and I don't want to press tab each time. I just want to charge because I've got my keybind actually on my mouse. So I just look around one-handed and press the charge and it automatically charges to a new target. This is a really, really cool change, and I'm really happy actually with the soft targeting, even if it is taking us closer towards like a console World of Warcraft. They've also added in a text-to-speech transcribing option for chat. Now, this is a very interesting option for us to have in World of Warcraft. No longer are you going to be forced into typing on the keyboard in order to get across whatever it is you're trying to say to your guildies, your friends, your communities, your trade chat, your services chat, whatever it is. You're going to be able to talk and the game will transcribe it for you. This is quite cool, but it depends how clever the AI is at recognizing your voice, as there are millions and millions of different voices out there in the world, and it has to get every single one of them correct. That's a hard thing to do, Blizz, but fair play. We're getting towards a game where you can use less of your bodily functions in order to make things happen. What I will notice about a lot of these changes is not only do they bring World of Warcraft closer towards being a console game, it also brings World of Warcraft to a lot of people who are in difficult situations. Say they're missing a limb or they're disabled in some way and they can't use their body like other people can. This actually takes the game to a lot better level for them to actually be able to play in the way that they can. I think this is a really, really good change for that specifically, and hopefully this will allow the game to go to that next step in terms of development. It's not always just about new content. As I've said for years, this game needs to redevelop some of the older content and just add in new systems that will help the game get to a better place. We don't need to add in a bunch of new content that no one's ever going to use, or someone's going to use for like 6 months and then we're never going to use it again. We need to go back and change all the old systems to be replayable, reusable, and just be generally a lot more open to everyone on a whole. You know what is for everyone? QWERTY t-shirts. That's what's for everyone. If you want to get yourself a geeky gamer t-shirt that is completely unique, then go to QWERTY.com. Use code Erosium at the checkout in order to get yourself $1, €1, or £1 off your order. So when will the World of Warcraft come to console? I want to know dates, Erosium. Well, I predict this happening in... I predict that we will get some sort of announcement for console release by the end of 2023, early 2024. I expect it will happen in the next expansion, not in Dragonflight. First of all, the sale of Activision really needs to go through to Microsoft. And then once we've kind of got to a place where Activision's owned by Microsoft and so is World of Warcraft, then I can imagine, you know, World of Warcraft going towards the Xbox Pass and then them doing a huge announcement where, you know, console players will now be able to play World of Warcraft. I think that's likely going to happen. And if it does get announced, it'll probably be announced at like BlizzCon or something like this. Right, now, I'm a World of Warcraft veteran. I've been playing since nearly day one. It's about like half a year into the release of vanilla that I actually started playing. I think I was just 11 years old. I might have just turned 12. And World of Warcraft was like this huge craze that my brothers were going on about. They were saying how this is actually just started to blow up. It's just... it's made by the same people as StarCraft 1 and Diablo, and we were like, oh my gosh! We were like playing it together. As a World of Warcraft veteran, what's my opinion of World of Warcraft going to console? Now, I just want to be clear, this hasn't been announced and this isn't confirmed by Blizzard, but A lot of the time where Blizzard do these types of things, I have a habit of predicting it is going to happen before it happens. I predicted the cross-faction changes about a year before the cross-faction changes. I predict a lot of these types of things and they do end up happening, and I think this is one of those things. If I was to put my own opinion to this matter, I would say there's a 90% chance of this happening. Do I think this is good? Well, I do and I don't. The reason I do think it's good that World of Warcraft will go towards console as well as PC, the reason I think it's great is mostly because we're going to have tons of new players in World of Warcraft, and getting to, for example, groups is going to be mega, mega quick. It's going to be so easy to get into groups. It's going to be so easy to just communicate with people in general, because I know for a fact if this game were to go on Xbox or say, or PS2, or whatever it is, it would need to be, or PlayStation, it would need to be a game where we could communicate a lot easier, say with Discord or something like this, built into World of Warcraft in a lot easier way. So say you join a group, you have an option to join the voice chat a lot easier and these things, and it just becomes more sociably acceptable to do that type of stuff. I think generally it will make the game a lot more busy and a lot more exciting, and there are a lot more events going on in World of Warcraft on a whole. This will be an exciting thing for me personally. What I am concerned about if this goes to console, and I'm sure I'm going to miss loads of things here that other people will mention in the comment section as well, is it becoming more of a PG game. I'm really concerned that they're going to take the brutality, the vulgarity, and just the general adult nature of World of Warcraft and throw it out the window. I'm concerned that they're going to remove that and just make it a bit of a PG, Disney-friendly game. And I don't want that personally as a player. As a content creator, I've got kind of mixed feelings, but as a player myself, I really enjoy having a little bit of that, you know, that adult vulgarity, a little bit of violence, a little bit of blood here and there. Not too much of it, but a little bit. It just keeps you interested in the game and it adds the realism. If I see a bit of combat going on in front of me and I don't see a little bit of blood or a bit of a cut on the character, I'm just like, well, that's just completely ruined the immersion for me as a person. I can't imagine ever being hit and there not being some sort of reaction or bruise or something like that. So I can only imagine that if this goes towards more of a console game, that they might end up making it a bit more PG, which does concern me. And I do always get worried about that type of stuff, just in general. Although, obviously, I know that they want to make World of Warcraft as approachable to as many people as possible. So as a content creator, I can completely understand what they're trying to do. They're thinking of the brand on a whole and how to take it to that next step. I think this will end up, though, I think they have to be very careful by doing this, because they will isolate players on a whole, especially PC players, if they make it too PG and things of this nature. Not only that, I do also worry that the skill level will drastically reduce by taking it to Xbox. I think if the game was on Xbox, they might actually end up reducing the skill level and the skill cap of players in general. So when you join a group, you won't just be dealing with someone who's just a bit new to their character. You'll be dealing with someone who physically doesn't know all the buttons in World of Warcraft. And generally, they're just overcoming the controller, let alone actually playing the game. So I think they would need to come up with a way to drastically improve that and make it a lot simpler to play. Now, with these changes, will Microsoft add World of Warcraft to the Xbox Pass? This is a great question. I think they will. Personally, I would stake my claim on it to say, yeah, I personally think Microsoft will add World of Warcraft to the Xbox Pass if it goes to console. If it doesn't go to console, obviously they won't do that. But if they do take this game to console, I can't imagine them not taking it to Xbox. The way I like to look at this is, I imagine what they did with Minecraft, right? Because Minecraft used to be a PC game, and yet Microsoft bought it, and they took the game to Xbox, they took it to console, and all those lovely things. So I can just imagine what they will do with World of Warcraft. I can imagine that they would, in fact, put it on the Xbox Pass, and this is a great thing for World of Warcraft players on a whole. Not only will you be paying the same price all the time for the same thing, but you'll also be getting tons of other games and tons of other value for your game, for your money, and therefore, on a whole, you will be greatly benefiting from this change. That being said, I remember what it was like for Microsoft to take Minecraft and put it into the Xbox Pass. It was a terrible experience to do that. The whole migration of accounts into the Xbox Pass was absolutely terrible. Terrible. I can remember how bad that was, and it would absolutely concern me if they were to do that and to have a really bad integration of the World of Warcraft subscription going into the Xbox subscription type thing. That would really concern me, because I lost a Minecraft account when that happened, and I don't want to ever lose my World of Warcraft account for some shenanigans like that. So that does concern me. I'd need to see it being ironclad, perfectly done in order for me to actually want to convert my account to an Xbox account. That does always worry me, especially as a content creator. And especially when you need to get in touch with these types of services, they end up being impossible to contact, and you can wait literally months, if not years, for a response, which is not a nice feeling at all, is it? So I would love to hear what your thoughts are on World of Warcraft going towards a console-driven direction. Please leave your comments in the section below. Hit that like button if you liked anything that I said in this video, and leave me just some general feedback on if you like these types of just general topics that we discuss for World of Warcraft in general. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to check out my two websites, I've got erosiumtv.com, which is a website devoted to my patrons and devoted to my fans who enjoy World of Warcraft. I produce lots of guides for erosiumtv.com, and I just try my best to give you guys my personal take on information and guides for making gold, collecting pets, collecting mounts, all these lovely things. My other website is actually run by a whole huge team of writers who just write general news, articles, blogs, and information about World of Warcraft, just in general, not specific stuff, general World of Warcraft stuff on a whole, and that is battleshout.com. Both those links are in the description. Get yourself a t-shirt from QWERTY.com using code Erosium at the checkout, and I'll see you in the next video. This is Erosium, out!